People deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for joining me each and every time. Can't lie, I've had my breakfast and the pepper is starting to kick my mouth, people. So now that that's been put to ease, people deluded, I'm back again. Good morning to those of you over here in the UK. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night. It's always better when Arsenal win. You know, we're staying up, people. We're not quite into the top half of the table, but two wins from our last two games sets us up a bit more positively. We've still got a lot to go. You know, we're still in the negative for goal difference. We're still in the negatives for more. We've lost more than we've won. You know, there's still a lot to go. You know, we can't go overboard against Burnley. It was, in many aspects, I do think it was a perfect performance by our standards. But on the other hand, I don't think it was, if we're real with ourselves. But when you can't win, when you can't be consistent, it's always nice to win. It makes things easier. We're allowed to watch Match of the Day, and, you know, it only lasts for 24 hours. It's nice to obviously win yesterday. Obviously, the players hope they wake up feeling in a good mood, have a good little breakfast, make sure you got your plotting and them things there, do your recovery sessions, and then next week it never happened. It means F all, because we've got a North London derby, and before that, we've got Wimbledon. Wimbledon probably will dump us out the cup. You know, Wimbledon aren't in our division, but they probably, like many teams that we're going to face this season, fancy Arsenal. We look like lunch meat. We look like fresh meat. You know, we look like we're there for the taking. So nothing's been proven, nothing's been disproven, but it's nice to win. And I'm sure you lot have a lot to say, and I definitely have a lot to say. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. On that topic as well, this is the first of 3 live streams today, people. After this, I'm going over to Twitch. We're going to do West Ham versus Man United and do a watch along for it. Love to see you all there for that. Then after that, we come back to YouTube. So listen, sandwiched in between of 2 YouTube live streams, you've got Twitch. We'll come back to YouTube, and obviously I'm going to watch the Spurs versus Chelsea game with you guys. So make sure you're hitting the like button and you're doing all of these sort of things, man. Hope you're all doing well and safe as usual. Hope you've all got your health. Hope your loved ones have all got your health. Hope you all had a good week to remember in terms of getting your goals, hopes, dreams, and aspirations. Hope you're all looking forward to next week with the same intention and aggression and things like that. And most importantly, hope you've all got your health in all aspects. So what are you lot saying before we carry on? JT, I appreciate you. G1, I appreciate you. Man's just saying DG. You lot gas me. Finally making it on time for the intro. I appreciate that. What do I make of Partey's performance yesterday? We're going to get into all of that, bro. I promise you I'm going to cover it. If not, make sure you circle back. Best intro on YouTube, Mr. Adlib. Appreciative, man. Shout all the members. AFC Stevie's in the building. Man said, where are the Xhaka sexuals now? Bro, the Xhaka sexuals are somewhere crying over his videos and that. They swore to us. Listen, I don't want to write the man off because there's been performances Xhaka has turned up, but he's nowhere. He shouldn't be as important to the team as he is. And they're crying, these same individuals that swore to us the minute we're gonna sell Xhaka, you're gonna see how good he is. There's gonna be a bunch of offers in for him. It seems like Jose Mourinho and this midfielder, the best ever, wasn't prepared to pay an extra 2 million quid. He was for Tammy Abraham and things. So Xhaka stocks are in the mud. He will be back in the team. Whether he plays against Spurs, we'll deal with it in the week. I don't think he should. I think our best partnership probably is, I know I've only seen 90 minutes of it, or not even that, but I'd prefer to give Odegaard and Partey more of a try, because I'll hone in on these things again, but Odegaard tries to pass forward. He tries to do things at pace. He tried, if he sees it, he's going to do it. Things that can be done in 2 touch, he's trying to do it in 2 or 1. He doesn't slow down the game. And I think for Thomas Partey with Odegaard, he evidently sees, okay, cool, that's my creative partner. I need to do the box-to-box ball winning midfield thing. And there was obviously glimpses where you saw Partey show little bits and pieces of his passing range, but I think there's more clarity. If we're not going to do that, then I want to see a Lokonga and Partey partnership. But again, that's not the most creative. I'm not really trying to see Xhaka. At best is hit and miss. I don't think Xhaka is good enough for a team to be as vital, and I don't want to ever say someone's absence is a blessing in disguise, but I would have thought his departure in the summer would have been a blessing in disguise, purely because it would have forced us to revamp this midfield, which we haven't done. And I do think the minute Xhaka is back available, Arteta will slot him back into the team, because he's still an important member in Arteta's eyes and all of those sort of things, people. But I just feel it's a bit of a myth, really and truly. It's an absolute myth, if I'm completely honest with you. We might as well, before I carry on, I was gonna call this bit the unanswered questions, or just talking points that I felt I wanted to talk about with you guys in relation to that game. Xhaka was one of them. We're gonna hone back in on that, so that will be the first timestamp. We'll get into Partey and all these things. Hope you have a good day as well, and you're having a good day. Cruz, I appreciate you. You lot gas me, and this is why I'm here each and every time. I'm appreciative to have the support network and the fan base that you lot have, man. That you lot provide me with. I appreciate it, man. It's without you lot, it's a myth. Money JP has said, morning DG, morning back at you, my guy. Do you think we have sorted out our fullback issues with the introduction of TT and Tierney? Obviously, I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, and I want to touch wood and pause, and everybody needs to touch some sort of wood. Pause again. He's got injury issues. Now, I'm not too clued up on his injury issues, but I'm sure we also, when we were signing for this club, there was injury issues, and it scares me in the same way Partey's got injury issues. Tierney, the only criticism you can have is, yeah, he's been in a bit of poor form, but injury issues. And for Tomiyasu, there's injury issues. But assuming everyone's fit, of course, man, you see him. There's going to be, let's be real, there's going to be games where he plays poor, because it's like, this is how life is, man are not invincible. He's going to have games where he plays atrocious and does terrible things. The same goes for Ramsdale. But I think there's an element of reliability in Tommy, in the sense of he just does his job. You see him winning things in the air, narrow when he's supposed to be narrow, overlapping when he needs to overlap, following his runners. There was even an incident he was shouting at Ben White as well. I like how what he behaves with. Of course, everyone in that defense, there was one or two nervy moments from everyone, but generally it was decent. And again, we all said it. You said it. I said it because you was here. We said the Burnley game's a different test. It's not going to be sunshine in million years on the ball not being tested like against Norwich. They're going to put balls into the box. You're not going to be able to win every duel, but you're going to have to compete. And I'm happy that, again, the jury's still out. It's only been 2 positive games for Arsenal, but Tommy has come out of it. Tomiyasu's come out of it stronger. Ramsdale comes out of it stronger. Jury is still out on Ben White, if I'm completely honest with you. Brentford looked a bit shaky. Yesterday, I think he did all right, but for me, he's too casual on the ball. He's a bit too pedestrian. I know the penalty incident bailed him out, but it's not even that one for me. There was one in the first sort of half of the second half. He was dwelling in possession unnecessarily, and I think Wood finessed him for it, and the ball came into the box. It's that lax approach I want to see out of it. But I mean, everybody came out well. Gabriel had another strong game. Ben White was okay. Tomiyasu done well. Ramsdale done well. Tierney, I think that's Tierney's best game of the season. Still not in the best of form, but our defense comes out with some rep, and our midfield as well. If we're going to go away from home against a team where we know it's going to be sluggish, the spine of the team needs to be half decent. And for me to sit here and say, Odegaard, obviously second half, it was more of a backs against the wall, and that's probably what took the gloss off Odegaard's perfect performance, capped off with the free kick, my guy. But, the spine of the team, as I said, Partey and Odegaard, they worked well together. They worked well individually. Odegaard scored a fantastic free kick, and for me, that weren't even the best aspect of him. He was everywhere. He was playing well. Partey done his thing. Obviously, we just spoke about the back 5 unit. So if everybody's fit, of course, yeah, the next thing comes into it. Depth. Can Maitland-Niles, when the time comes, throw in there and do a job? Who knows, people? But if everybody's fit, I would say our fullback issues are sorted, and really and truly, the whole defensive issues should be sorted. Now it's just about coaching out bad habits and preaching good habits, and making everybody understand how they play, making sure everybody understands everyone's individual job and collectively. Ben White and Gabriel, how you move with each other. Ramsdale, how you talk to the unit in front of you. The fullbacks, how you communicate with your centre halves. How the fullbacks on either side communicate. How the midfield ties into that as well. It's just about fine tuning, promoting good habits, and getting rid of bad habits, and coaching more good ones, in my opinion. And at that same time, there's going to be times where these lot show they're naive. There was many even naive moments against Burnley. Gabriel at one time did a shaky clearance. Ben White, shaky clearance. Ramsdale, shaky pass. At times there was shaky stuff, if we're nitpicking, but generally we did all right. And I'm happy with what I saw with these players, man. Really and truly, man. Do you think the core of our squad is set for the future? I am thinking of Ramsdale, the whole defense, Sambi and Partey, one the middle, and then Smith Rowe, Saka, and Odegaard. I don't know, but I do think we do have players for for the future, and we could have a decent spine provided it's coached properly and things like that. As I said, the jury's still out. There's going to be bad games. We have one of the youngest squads in the team in the league, so you have to be prepared for naiveties. There's going to be times where that Ben White and Ramsdale thing, it is a penalty, or it's more of a stonewall penalty and things like that. Or times Ramsdale could have done better at his near or far post. Times Tomiyasu ain't covering, because there was even times Ben White and Tomiyasu, there was a gap too far between them, and Wood and Barnes were getting in between that. And I think one of them needed to take charge and say, yo, you need to get tighter to me and tell your right winger to tuck in, or Ben White has to say something. So we got away with that, but it's cool. We live to fight another day, man. What do you think of Burnley not watering the pitch? I heard Ben White try to use that. Obviously, it's dark arts. It's dark arts, in it. But I can't. Can you expect anything less? We want to come and play football and zip it. The Emirates is probably the best watered pitch in the league. And we like to zip it, even though we're not good. Why would you water it, man? You would do all of that. It's like when everybody clock Stoke does the long throw thing, everyone started to move the billboards in front, so man couldn't get elevation. I expect it, and these little things can give you an advantage. Obviously, it didn't work too much for them, but it is what it is in that regards, man. It is what it is. We did what we needed to do. In terms of other unanswered questions that I've got, people, if I share my Google Doc with you, these are just things I was writing down last night to come and speak to you lot with. I love you guys. Leno and Xhaka, where are they? And what I mean by that is, obviously you can't draw too many conclusions. We ain't played 30 plus games. There's guys that are the messiahs and the heroes now, they're gonna become the villains. People that you don't rate, they're gonna get their opportunity. So I don't want to write off anyone, but it is a squad game. Leno isn't I'm more open to Leno getting a revival than Granit Xhaka, if I'm honest with you. Because I just think Leno is a better goalkeeper than Xhaka is a better centre mid, if that makes sense. But it does wonder where you leave them now, because for me, Ramsdale can't be dropped unless he does some clanger business in the North London derby. That spot's his own. Leno, you can get your minutes midweek. Ramsdale's number one until something changes. For me, Granit Xhaka shouldn't get back into that midfield. But again, Arteta bets on him. Maybe he's learned his lesson, but he bets on him. And to be honest with you, there is going to be a time you're going to need Granit, because we don't have many options in midfield. But it does make me wonder, where do we leave them? We've obviously spoken about Tomiyasu, and I think he just goes from strength to strength. As I said, there's going to be a game where he has a tough game, but I think he coped with Dwight McNeil very good. That was a different test. He had a winger that was a throwback winger that wants to take him on and things like that, and I think he coped with it. In the air, I think he coped with it. As I said, he got narrow when he needed to. He provided width when he needed to. He did everything right. He just done the basics of a fullback, and this is what I like about seeing people like that. He's not amazing. He just does the basics very well, and it's nice to have a fullback who just has basic competencies. When you're looking at the job title of a fullback, it's all there. Not someone can go forward but he can't defend, or this guy can defend but he can't go forward, or this guy likes to go narrow, so there's whatever. And with that, obviously, if he plays more, that's going to be better for the Saka, the Pepe, whoever plays out there. So I'm happy with that. I can't lie to you lot, people. I'm starting to feel, I don't think Aubameyang was terrible. I think he played exactly how he did against Norwich. He just scored in that game. But I can't lie to you lot. I'll give him the North London derby, where really he could be dropped out for that. Hit the like button, people. And make sure you're subscribed to Twitch. You get, again, 1:40. I'm going live on Twitch, West Ham versus United. But as I was saying with Aubameyang, I don't think he was terrible, but I can't lie. I'm not really. You and Saka, again, Saka's my guy. Saka's first name on the team sheet. But if we're keeping it true and everybody has to do their job, and there's pressure on spaces, them and their positions are looking a bit shaky at this moment in time. Now, if they do a madness against Spurs, it is what it is. But I just feel the very things I was saying to you guys about those two individuals in particular against Norwich, I'm saying it again. I don't think Saka was terrible. I think people need to allow him a bit. He did, I think he did have some good moments of play when he linked up with Odegaard, and he did win the free kick. I think Aubameyang put himself about, but I can't lie. I'll give him the North London derby. Maybe that's even the wrong thing. Then I think we've got to probably look at bringing in Lacazette, because the link-up play, etc., 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 and just giving someone else a go. I need to see more from my Haaland boys now. Again, this is in an ideal world. This is what I want to see, in that they have scope to not really perform and we still get a result. So I would like both kind of pulled out the firing line. You know, I do think people move like they're on Cesc Fabregas's level. They're young men, but I need to see a bit more because they've got it. I'm not asking them to be messiahs. They're young and that. I need to see a bit more from those two. Maybe Saka needs to be pulled out the lineup. Smith Rowe has had a little injury. So yeah, would I say Ramsdale has proven people wrong? The jury's still out. What Ramsdale can do is not make people talk about the price tag, 30 million. Again, like I said, there's going to be shaky games from Ramsdale. But one thing I like about him is the courage. I love him. He's brave as hell. He's there fighting for his teammates. Minute people are trying to surround Tini, he's there. He's a brave individual. He wears his heart on his sleeve. And, you just want him to do well. Obviously, none of that matters if you're not going to be good in goal. I think he's better with the ball at his feet. Everyone can see than what we may have thought. I think his distribution was good. Sometimes he's even a bit too casual. He's got a bit of that. Him and Ben White. This is what I'm saying. There's going to be games they do some booky stuff, people. There was a time Ramsdale was taking a million years. He was closed down. Obviously, Ben White got caught lacking a couple of times. It's just about being a bit more proactive. I don't want to mention a certain keeper we sold last season or the season before that now, whenever it was. But one thing I think Ramsdale has in similarity with him, and one thing I liked about that keeper and now our present keeper over our current guy that was sitting on the bench, them man there collect corners convincingly. They like to catch. I don't really like the punching thing, that Leno comes with. I don't like it. It makes people nervous. And I think when you've got games like Burnley and there's moments where they're all on top of us and all of these things, when you've got a calm pair of hands like Ramsdale, it's kind of calm. As I said, the jury's still out. I won't go as far as to say he's been proving people wrong, but I'd love to know your opinions. Do you think you're being proven wrong? Because I am learning a lot about Ramsdale. I wasn't as against it as some people might have been, but I wasn't screaming sign Ramsdale when we said we needed a keeper. The same goes for Ben White. Again, I feel if we was to look at all of these new signings, I feel Lokonga's probably surprising people and started off strongly, right? Tavares, there's not really too much of a case study, but from what we've seen, we can recognize defensively, he's a bit raw. Offensively, he gives us he's got an engine in him sort of thing, right? Ramsdale, we've just spoken about, he's kind of shut up critics. And again, it's only been 2-3 games, so their critics are still there, right? Tomiyasu's come in and done well. Like I said, it's the honeymoon period. This was like Tierney. Tierney was amazing. And then, he got ripped a couple of games. It will happen. People are human. Tomiyasu's done his thing. The jury's still out for Ben White for me. Odegaard, obviously, he's not really a new signing, but he is. He's done his thing. And I think that was his first goal in 6 months, people, it said. But the question marks are still over Ben White. I think it's not that, I like him. He's comfortable on the ball. He's got good distribution. I think he defended well in large yesterday, just like against Brentford. But it's those fine margins. I don't even think it was a problem in the air yesterday. I just think he's too casual. Too casual. Like you need to be a bit more proactive. You can't afford for that. Again, if you can recognize the pitch is dry, and one love to him, he took criticism. He held his hands up post game and said, "Listen, I put my team in it. I respect that, but it's just about being a bit more proactive there. That little bit of focus. I still think out of all of them, the man that we spent 50 million on, personally, I've got the most question marks. I don't think you're a bad defender, but I don't think you look worth 50 million at this moment in time. And I think you look like someone to target in that defense. But again, there's many different, there's a long way to go. The narratives can change and a lot of these things. Same way Tomiyasu and Ramsdale started strong. Ben White started kind of slow. A month from now, these things can look different. It's not about where you start your career. It's about where you finish. And the man signed a 4 or 5 year deal, I think, or something like that. So let's see what's happening. I kind of already have spoken about the Partey and Odegaard partnership. Again, it might not be the best thing since sliced bread. And we're going to do our tactical review soon on and kind of hone on that. But I'd rather Odegaard players that 8 or even try Smith something along those sort of lines with certain other individuals than Xhaka, because it's more dynamic, it's faster, the build-up plays it slower. Is there any coincidence that we was playing with a bit more intent, doing things faster, and we kind of, we was breaking quickly, and we was offering a lot more than we should have. If that's Xhaka, again, Xhaka's had good games for us, and I'm not going to sit here and lie, but I just think he slows down the build-up play. I just think, if Partey isn't there, you've got the negative cocktail of Xhaka, who wants too many touches and wants to do it at pedestrian speed, and then you've got people like El Nene or whatever who play the simple pass. I think when you've got Partey, he understands that I've kind of got to be the deeper of the two. Odegaard is free to pick up the ball, and he does. You get a sense of purpose with Odegaard. If I'm honest, if I'm honest with you, he tries to do things quickly. He tries to play things forward. He tries the difficult pass. He'll try the difficult pass when he's pressed. He doesn't, you press Xhaka. It's common sense. You press Xhaka, he struggles. You give him bare time in the world, he looks half amazing. So again, I don't want to say that's the partnership, because if they play against Spurs and it looks shaky, what is said then? But I would prefer to try the Odegaard Partey thing, the Lokonga Partey thing, before we go down the Xhaka Partey thing once again. But I think that's an avenue that Arteta isn't done with yet, really and truly. So yeah, it is what it is, man. That's a bit of the unanswered question. So yeah, I'll clip that up for those of you who haven't seen that. So yeah, it is what it is. What are you lot saying? Bro, he is only 23 and it's tough to play at Turf Moor. I didn't say anything. He's 23, but he's not the average 23-year-old. He's got a good foundation. He's done the hard work on loans. Again, he is 23, but that doesn't mean I can't talk about what I see. And I think, like I said, I think he had a good game. Those final periods, they were self-inflicted. That's why I'm on to you more. You know, he played himself in problems. As I said, the positive thing, I don't think it was a thing where he got roughed up and all of those things and struggled physically. I just think on the ball, you're dwelling, sort of thing. You invented your own problems. And I think you should have been switched on even more, because if you forget that penalty incident, a few moments before on the sort of right-hand channel, he could have just passed it. He could have put his foot through it. He could have done what he needed to do, but he didn't. And he presented issues. Just knowing there's a time and a place. You're right. He is 23, but I can only talk on what I see. I still believe in Ben White, but same way if he was good, which I think he was, I'll be gassing it to high heavens. I have to talk about what I see, man. So yeah, man, it is what it is in that regards. Ben White is good in a free centre back system. I like him, but the 50 million was much. Between 30 and 40, I would have been cool with it. Yeah, I mean, we clearly look like we got finesse. We paid a bit of a premium, but as long as he can come good for Arsenal, as you lot have said, he's 23. It don't really matter, man, really. And it's not where you start, it's where you finish. I still believe in Ben White, but I'm not gonna lie. I think this defense is a bit naive, even shown in the Burnley game. And there's gonna be occasions where we see that, but so far so good, man. You're right. DG Martinez was very comfortable when it comes to crosses and collecting high balls. He gave me peace that Leno never did. Leno gave me a bit of different piece. He was a good shot stopper and he felt like he was down for the cause. But I just like keepers who just look a bit more like keepers. And I think Ramsdale is that for me. Martinez was that for me. They know what they can and can't do. They don't really see themselves as midfielders. So there's a bit more clarity when they're distributing it. And like I said, the main thing, Martinez as well, but the main thing for Ramsdale is he's fucking vocal, man. Like, it's nice to have a keeper opening his mouth. I'm not naive. Of course, Leno did. But, I mean, being at the grounds and watching him, you got the vibe that he was on the Koscielny silent leading by example thing. And for me, you can't have a keeper in England doing that. I don't know about other countries, but you can't have that. You can't. At least with Ramsdale, when Burnley players are going up for headers, they can hear, him in his mad Yorkshire accent shouting. So they're thinking twice before they put their head there, and it gets a bit gazy for them. So far, so good, man. From us. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. If you haven't, make sure you're joining me on Twitch. DG, good morning, DG. Jimmy Greaves passed away. First things first, commiserations and condolences to Jimmy Greaves and his family. That's shit news on this Sunday, man. Thoughts and prayers with his family on behalf of everyone at this difficult time. The whole team looked more assured of themselves. It looked like we knew what was going on. That's one thing that gave me praise, because I finally got the vibe that you actually watched a game of Burnley and you knew what to expect. So many times this season, last season, and historically, we're going into games, whether it's Lukaku. We know Lukaku, you can't afford to let him isolate centre-backs and run into channels. You can't afford to switch on from dead balls against Brentford. You can't afford to not watch midfield runners against City. It's nice to see against Burnley, at least it looked like we did some analysis and we actually took heed of the analysis. Again, so far, so good. Do you think there's more unity? Do you think there's more unity? Like, I look like they want to fight for each other. I'm not sure what you're saying there, Alfie, but I think since Arteta's come in, there's been a bit more fight in our team. But is it enough? I don't know, people. Only you lot can answer that for yourself. I do think there's been a bit more fight, but the issues still remain, though, really and truly. The historic issues. Imagine if we hadn't brought White and played Saliba, our window would have been much less of a meme and we'd have bought a striker like Isaac. I'm not too sure of that. I must admit, when I do see the mistakes or the question marks over Ben White, it does make me sit there and think, why couldn't Saliba get an opportunity? But at the same time, Saliba has the same struggles, and I still believe in Ben White, man. I think Ben White's going to prove his worth. Obviously, you're going to have to learn some tough lessons, like every centre-back, you know. You learn harsh lessons in the Premier League. You know, the Premier League is any league. You throw any centre back, you're gonna learn harsh lessons. Any young promising centre half. I remember Varane. He learned a lot of hard lessons at Real Madrid. But I remember is it 2014 World Cup, bullied at a set piece by Hummels. I've never seen him bullied again at that stage like that from a set piece. Saying that, I know the Euros was terrible for all of France's defense people. So yeah, it is what it is. Ben White could distribute the ball a bit quicker. I've noticed he takes a bit long to distribute, but otherwise he did fine. I think he's cool in that regards, but I just think he's because he knows he's good on the ball. Sometimes that leads to a lapse in concentration, and I think sometimes you overdo it. It's just about balance, in my opinion. PT looks a better player than White at the moment. Still time for him to prove his £50 million worth. Ben White is still young and will learn facts, man. And this is the thing. We bought him for 50 million at 23, and he's on a 5-year deal. So you can't expect him to be the finished article. And I must admit, the system is looking better. We only have 69 likes, but there's 200 odd people locked in. You lot are doing me dirty. Unexpected high bills due for anyone who does not hit that like button, man. What are you lot playing at? Therefore, don't want to see Chambers or Holding back in the first team. I mean, you can't write off anyone. You know, I'd move Chambers on. I'd listen to any offers on Holding, but I actually think Holding would have done all right yesterday as well. Like pre-game, I was thinking, could we have got Holding fit? Could Holding have got in there? And you know, because he's good in the air. And one thing about Holding, he's on the scrappers. He's on fighting Diego Costas and these sort of guys. He might not be on it against Gundogan, Raheem Sterling. He'll let them out jump them to headers, but he's on it in them big games, man. What a great performance for Ramsdale with Southgate scouting. Trust me, you know, because I'm not going to lie, I don't think Southgate rates him. And it's a bit weird to say that about a man that selected him for the Euros. But, you know, there was Pope and him playing yesterday. If Pope and Dean Henderson never had them injuries or whoever was injured, I don't think he goes to the Euros. But it was a good performance. You know, Saka was a bit quiet. Smith-Rowe, I don't think you boosted your England chances with that performance necessarily. But it is where it is, man. Ben White's used to playing in a free with Dunk. He'll grow into it. It's true, but we have to call a spade, man. These men are professional footballers. It doesn't matter if you're in a 3 or a 4. There's certain basic principles, and I hear what a lot of you lot are saying. But my problem actually isn't him defensively. You know, it doesn't matter if you're in a 3 or 4. You know when to play and when not to play, or you should. And like someone said, he's 23, so it will come. But I can only talk on what I see, people. So that's it for me. You know, I don't think he's been bad this season. I think I don't know what it is about Ben White. It's like there's pitchforks out for him, if I'm honest with you. For extra content, please make sure you're following me on Twitch. We go on Twitch live after this. Over 300 of us and only 90 likes. We're moving mad on DG. Let's work on those likes, bro. The best things are free and you lot doing man dirty. Fake people, my bro. It's only likes. Come on, people. My guy. I want to see Balogun. He's on smoke, bro. Give him a chance. He's one for the future. I mean, you'd imagine he gets his opportunity against Wimbledon. I can't lie. I can only blame Balogun for his current situation. Again, I can criticize Arteta and say, where is he? Why isn't he in the squad? But I can't lie. You should know that there's Martinelli, there's Lacazette, there's even Nketiah who might even still be ahead of you. There's Aubameyang. There's no cup competitions like that this season. You need to go out and play football. And maybe he needs to do more to show that he's levels. I don't know, man. But like I said, if I'm Balogun and I'm literally him, and I look back in May and I ain't played 20 odd times, there's issues in that regards, people. And obviously, we're playing against Chelsea later today, and you'll get your review. Balogun's in the squad. You know, I know that. I don't know if he's starting, but he's in the squad. So you're a first team player in name and that, and you get your pictures and that, and things can change. But at least for this season, it's looking a bit mad. Obviously, the situation can change. You know, who knows what happens with Eddie Nketiah and whatnot, but is where it is, man. I was so wrong about Ramsdale. He's really proven himself. I'm listening to DJ and forgot to hit the like button. The reminders are good. Logic TV, come on. You know, unexpected high bills to everyone who does not hit that like button. Ramsdale is proactive and Leno is active. I guess here's the difference. I think Leno's reactive. if I'm anything. For me, it's just like Leno's got ants in his pants. I don't want to make this the Leno slagging contest, because there's been times he's stood up to be counted. But for me, I don't care how much the modern goalie needs to do all these new things. I still think a goalie should be a calming influence. And I kind of get that with Ramsdale. I got that with Martinez. I've got that with previous keepers at Arsenal. I think Leno on the whole has been a good keeper for Arsenal, but I don't think I've ever quite got that degree of comfortableness from Leno. I think it's like a deer in the headlights, like he's always on an adrenaline rush sort of thing, if I'm completely honest with you more time. But yeah, man. Nketiah looked our best striker in preseason, people hating on him. To be fair to you, I mean, Akpom used to look like Thierry Henry every summer, so I don't know if I want to read too much into that. But yeah, man, for Eddie Nketiah, I mean, we're probably not going to make any money on that if he agrees a move for free to abroad in Jan. Hopefully we can make a few change on him. But yeah, away from that, people, I just want to talk about 1-2 bits and pieces from yesterday in terms of tactically. So yeah, man. Ramsdale, he's from the hood, bro. He knows the pain. I don't know what hood that is, but fair play. Ramsdale commands his box. Neil, exactly. And that's one thing I like. Keepers have to command it. Like when you come out, I want to look like you're taking everything, even your teammates. And he done that. And he did make a big save. Maybe I'm gassing it a bit, but I'm sure. I can't remember who struck it. But I think it might have been Cornet or something. And Ramsdale made a big save and whatnot. I might be gassing it a bit, but fair play. Couple of those flat passes from Ramsdale were nice. Yeah, there was one long ball into Aubameyang, and then Aubameyang effed it up. I think he tried to find Pepe. It was tired. But this is what I feel. When you know you're kind of limited, not that Ramsdale's limited, but when you know you're not the best technically with a ball at your feet, like with Martinez, for me, I like it because when I look at them, they think that much more about what they're doing and what they want to do with it. For Leno, it genuinely looked like if you ask Leno to play in a back three or play midfield, he wants to do that. So I just feel sometimes he's not focusing on his distribution. He's not helping people. I'm not trying to make this the Leno hating session, and I'm not trying to make it the Ramsdale preaching session, because there's been times Leno 9 times out of 10 has stuck up for this club and saved us and whatnot, despite what's going on. And Ramsdale, the jury's still out, really and truly. So yeah, man, it is what it is. Leno never makes me feel safe, rash and mistake prone. Hopefully Ramsdale can be more secure. I mean, all the Southampton, Sheffield United fans I speak to, they say Ramsdale has a mistake in him. You know, he has it. He's on this. He'll go well for a couple games and then he drops a mistake and then it's back to business. So I hope we all stand by him. You know, we look at this squad; they're all young. You know, as good as Tomiyasu is, bro. He's 22. You know, Ramsdale is 23, Ben White 23, Gabriel 23, 24, Tierney not much older than them. Tierney, exception to the rule for me, but they're gonna make naive mistakes. They're gonna do naive things without a doubt. You know, we just need to, as long as we're learning from it, and like I said, we're coaching out bad habits and promoting good habits, we should be in decent stead. But whether we are doing that is a different thing. 361 of you locked in, appreciative. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. As I said, want to offer two comments on a couple of tactical things from yesterday as well, people. In my opinion, now I'm not gonna lie. For me, it wasn't pretty. The formation did kind of change and stuff, but it looked primarily like a 4-1-4-1 to me. It did kind of differ. One thing I liked about, obviously, this is where Burnley are concerned. We know what we're getting. Well, we don't know what we're getting. There's a man that's not there. But typically, you're getting 4-4-2, narrow unit from Burnley, difficult to break down. Wingers are going to tuck in as the centre mids. They're going to be a narrow unit, compress the hell out of themselves and be difficult to break down and take it all from there. And we know long balls forward, first and second balls, it is what it is. And what I liked, was doubling up well. If someone went long and they won it, fair play, it gets headed forward. But if it drops, someone else is there and it goes over, someone else is there to sweep up. That's what I wanted to see. I think first things first, if we say that's Partey looked better in real time. You probably saw stuff like this. Partey there, and I liked how Partey would sit just in front of the defense, sometimes go and engage in the ball, sometimes allow his centre halves to go do that and be something else. And I think him alone there, he understands it. When Xhaka's there, both of you are there like this, and you might not understand what they're doing. But then you've got Odegaard in real time, who's probably around here. as you know, with Odegaard, he was buzzing around, getting the ball, 1-2s, trying to pop it round corners for people and things like that. You had Smith Rowe, who was probably a bit higher. Saka, who made himself quite narrow on every occasion. Um, and again, I'm not the Haaland boys could have done a bit better in that regard. You had Pepe probably higher up there. My man was quite narrow at times. Tini's obviously going to hug the touchline. Centre backs are going to split as expected, people. So that's probably what you saw. Aubameyang sometimes on the last shoulder. And again, this needs to improve a lot. But I just feel there's more clarity. Is there any coincidence when there's more clarity with everyone? We're zipping it a bit better. We're moving it. How many times did you actually see Saka and Odegaard and Smith Rowe and Pepe? They played couple 1-2s in the middle of the park. Like, go and watch the first half again. I did think the centre halves were spreading the ball lovely as well. Gabriel had a good game. Ben White, good on the ball. Probably too lax was his problem within that game, people. So I liked what I saw primarily from these two. On another day, maybe we're shoehorning people into the team. Maybe we can, Saka, Smith Rowe, Aubameyang. Maybe there's question marks as to whether these lot start against Spurs. I don't know. But from what I saw, I liked it, man. Obviously, at times it looked like we was actually differing into a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3, but primarily it looked like a 4-1-4-1 for me. So I can't really complain. Obviously, it was a fantastic goal that we scored, and it came as a result of 1-2s being played with Odegaard and Saka. Saka's obviously driven. Obviously, he's been clipped, and there's no way I can show you, but it's a fantastic free kick from Odegaard. Obviously, we had backs against the wall defending in the second half, which we coped with. There was a couple of nervy moments, but we generally coped with it, man. Allegedly, we got 35 crosses into the box, people. So we're crossing more. We shot more based on the Norwich game. It's just about refining this now, obviously correlating it to scoring more goals and whatnot. Obviously, the performance wasn't the best. We had to defend well, win our 2v1s, win our 2v2s, win the second and first ball in the second half. It was a bit elements of scrappy defending. There was a couple of incidences where it could have went another way, like the penalty shout and whatnot. There was a couple of times I did feel we were giving the ball away cheaply to Burnley, and I think Arteta said the same thing. I did feel at times we was a bit nervy in the second half. Like, it was nice to see we was clearing it, but we're not clearing it into proper areas, and I feel there needed to be a bit more communication. Like, there was one time, I think, if Ramsdale, and it's easy for me to say, but if Ramsdale opened his mouth, I think Gabriel could have trusted himself, taken time of it, played it back to Ramsdale, but instead, he can't see what's around him. He's tried to clear it. It's not the best clearance, and it's gone to someone on the edge of our area. It came to nothing, but how you defend, especially when your backs are against the wall, makes the difference. I think we coped with the Burnley press well. I mean, if we're going to be a side that plays out from the back and we're signing people, whether it's Ramsdale meant to be good with his feet, Gabriel, Ben White, the fullbacks, we should be able to deal with a press. So I think we dealt well with the press, really and truly, that came from Burnley. If you don't know what I'm referring to, obviously when they're trying to press us, we did quite well. And there was numerous incidences. I think Ramsdale's distribution was good. He was popping out nice little passes. He was even going long to Aubameyang and that. But there was a couple of times he would trust Partey in particular. And even me, I was like, oh, you sure you want to do that? You sure you lot want to do that? But he would play some passes in. Partey would obviously play more of the techie men into it. I mentioned it in earlier, and just to make sense, on another day, I think this is what I needed to see a bit better. If I remove everybody and you focus just on this defensive unit, but specifically just the right-hand side, there was a couple of occasions you look at TT and Ben White, centre back and right back respectively. I did feel Barnes and whoever, they were getting in here. They were getting, people were not looking over their shoulders, like the ball's coming over the top. Ben White is ball watching, so he's not looking over his shoulder. I think TT the same, so he's not looking at his left shoulder. Someone on another day has to take responsibility for that, because obviously if a ball comes into the box or goes into him and he does something, half of us are going to say maybe Tomiyasu could have done better. Maybe some of us are going to say Ben White. So someone needs to talk between the two. Potentially Ramsdale the same. Maybe these two need to talk between themselves at centre half. One of you cover, you shuffle across, dial in Partey, tell him to come back and survey that. So that's another thing. But generally, I think we did all right, man. Like, I won't say perfect, but in comparison to how we have been this season, I would say probably the most perfect performance I've seen. Tactically, I saw what we tried to do. It looked like the players listened to whatever it was, and ultimately we got away with the win. Yes, when we nitpick, as I've said, there's 1-2 things we could have evidently done better in abundance, but it is where it is, man. We're not perfect. We're not going to be perfect with just 2 wins. We start as we mean to go on. Let's just move in. It's simple as that, folks. So yeah, man, that's what I feel. Hit the like button if you haven't, folks. On that note, so yeah, man. Come on, my dude. Was okay yesterday, not a real test. Going forward, we're average at the moment. Yeah, I mean, it goes without saying, man. I tried to avoid it. Obviously, in the final third, it wasn't quite as crisp and as precise as we would like or we would hope an Arsenal team to have. I wouldn't say it wasn't a real test, though, because I think that's more of a test than the Norwich game. Of course, I know what you mean. If you can't do a similar sort of job against Spurs or whoever the big teams are, I think you need to. But I mean, what I will say, and it's not to look at last season's laurels, I don't think it makes much of a difference in that. I just want to see consistency over the whole calendar because if anything, we was better in them little isolated incidences last season. We was winning battles, but not the wars. We beat United, beat Spurs, beat Chelsea. They all had better seasons than us, you know. Fair enough, we can laugh about, about United getting to a final and losing it, but they got Europe. You know, all of them other. We were winning those games. Our problems was still those games, but our problem was how we play against Palace, how we play against Burnley. We ain't beat Burnley in 3 games. So I don't want to praise us for this because it's meaty, but do you get it? Like, we're doing all right in that regard. You know, I don't think we've turned the corner, but, you know, I can only praise and critique where fit. And when we deserve criticism, I have to say it. When I think there's some quote unquote praise due, I'm going to say it. So, yeah, man, it is what it is. Put Saka right wing, Laka up top, Pepe left wing, the rest the same, and we're better. I'm not too sure of that, but fair play. A lot of people are saying the performance was poor. I overdo. I mean, what do they want? Like, they want us to batter Burnley 5-0. I wouldn't say it was poor. People are definitely overdoing it. Poor. That's a lie. I think that Odegaard and Smith Rowe are better in a more advanced position. Using them in an 8 like yesterday wasted their ability. I don't think either play. I think Smith Rowe was average yesterday because of his own back, and I definitely don't feel Odegaard's ability was wasted yesterday. But fair play. Thanks for the content, DG. Love from Rwanda. Appreciate you, Alex. Hope you're well. Sean Dice is going to give you a hiding today. William, I don't know where you've been, man. Are you drunk, bro? That happened 24 hours ago, my guy. Stay away from drugs, kids. I'm feeling good, Tino, man. We've got 2 more live streams to do after this. I'm in good stead, man. Ben White slows the game down. You can see how annoyed Tomiyasu and Partey were in the game. Maybe that's something he needs to improve, man. I don't know why people make it look like the problem with our transfer window was the incomings. Maybe we've got one more player. Other than that, we all look good. We need more from the front four. We're struggling with creating and putting chances away. That is true. Leno has been brilliant for Arsenal. Now Ramsdale gives him competition, which is what Leno needed. He was getting an easy ride. Facts. Facts, facts, facts. Appreciate that. Honestly, we need Laka back in this team. We will know he was really needed at the end of the game yesterday. Such a pain in the arse striker. Pause. To be honest, I do agree, but I just think Arsenal fans, we do this thing because Lacazette's going to play and he's going to struggle if he does. Man are going to cry for Aubameyang. I just think Arsenal fans do this thing where it's always the player that isn't involved that is the messiah, just generally. Would you try Pepe up front for a game or two? Think it would be great? I mean, he's played there before and why not? Because no one else is doing anything. But if anything, if we're gonna try something that isn't a Bamian or Lacazette through the middle, then for me it has to be Martinelli in it. Just unleash the South American Brazilian devil. You know, really and truly, he's a madman up there. I'd say release that. I'm not really on the Balogun and Eddie and Nketiah thing right now. I won't lie to you, lot people. If they get chances, they get them in it. But I just think if anything, it's a Martinelli thing for me. Open to exploring the Pepe thing. So yeah, man. Already offered my opinions on Ben White, but once again, I think Ben White had a good game. Apart from those shaky moments on the ball, which were self-inflicted, I think he coped well in the air. I think generally he did all right, man. We are very slow and predictable in the final third, 100%. But Rome Rome weren't built in a day, man. Rome weren't built in a day. The jury's still out. You know, we should have created a lot more clear-cut chances. But yeah, man, make sure you're all here for the Spurs versus Chelsea game later. One love to the 9 people waiting and the 15 people who have hit that like button. Even if you're not going to be there, please hit the like button and share up the engagement. And obviously, Twitch gang, make sure you're following and subscribed on there so you don't miss a beat. For the derby, we need Lacazette and Tommy should play centre back alongside Gabriel. Put Ben on the bench. Ainsley Maitland-Niles at right back. I don't doubt it, Russell, but to play devil's advocate, would it be the right time to be trying those things? You know, or do we stick to kind of what's been running? with Gabriel and Ben White, because again, I know they're all part of that same defensive unit, bro. But has Tomiyasu and Gabriel played against each other? Now, I don't doubt them, but would you want to do that against Son and Kane? And I'm not saying it will do worse, but I'm just playing devil's advocate. Is it the right time to try that? Or is it best to just go with what we have? Not saying it's the right or wrong option, because I don't think you're wrong, but is it the right time to be trying things? Good opinions, people. Keep them coming, man. Arteta is still not good enough to be our manager. Trust the process, bro. Trust the process. Under the right tutelage, Odegaard could be the next Ozil. Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know, but just carry on with what you're doing, Odegaard, and there might be a conversation to be had there, people. Should we look at what Mikel Arteta himself has had to say in relation to the game, people? I think, I actually haven't seen what Mikel Arteta has had to say in general, so let's take in the man's words. Make sure you're hitting that like button if you haven't. Keep your fantastic opinions coming, people. I can't lie, man. This is why I love having the fan base and supporters group that I have. You lot, whether we agree, disagree, we all see it differently, but everyone's respectful. Everybody says a lot of different things, man, that things learned that I learned from. I think what we can all agree as Arsenal fans, obviously, defensively, we're not all the way there yet. In terms of an attacking sense, 100%, we're not all the way there yet. Like, we still don't seem like we have plans in the final third. And really, yesterday is another game of just individual moments. If you're real with yourself, it was good little play from Odegaard and Saka in particular to fashion, to win the free kick. Fantastic from Odegaard. But how many times are you going to get that? We need to create more clear-cut chances, make Nick Pope have to make more saves, and ultimately just improve our goal difference, if I'm completely honest with you. So yeah, it is what it is in that regards. But I keep saying, let's look at what Mikel Arteta has had to say in his press conference and not speaking about it. So let's get into that full stop, people. Where is it? Let me share my screen. One love to you lot. 421 of you locked in this early Sunday morning. I'm not even playing to. I wonder, is my team even winning? I hope we're winning. Yeah, let me. I'll inquire about that later, man. I hope we're winning. Come on, Wrongans. Can't even play today, people, because it's a busy day. This is what I do for you guys. But let's see what was going on, people. Arteta on Gabriel, Partey, Ramsdale, and victory. My gaffer. On the performance, a really hard-fought victory in a place that is tough to come to and win. They do really well with what they do. They ain't picked up a win all season. Let's be a bit honest. They put you under a lot of pressure, but I think we started the game really well, controlling and dominating the game. We had some big phases where I saw a lot of things that we want as a team. I'd agree so far. On the first press conferences, I'm actually happy with Arteta so far. We scored the goal, had some opening chances, and there were moments where we lost control and started to give away balls after the second or third pass. I agree with that. Then the game becomes open and there is no control. Second half, it was a bit too open. They split the two blocks very much, and then you have to defend crosses and long balls. I thought that we did that really, really well. We have players that are not in the best quality to play the game, but I think they did terrifically well, and the commitment and attitude that they showed throughout the game to find a way to win was the most pleasing thing for me. And I think the mentality was there. On the physicality of Gabriel and Tomiyasu, facts. They were 30. Both of them, I think they were really terrific. I think the back four in general was really solid. We didn't concede much, even though they put us under pressure. I thought they were really good. On Gabriel's impact and having 2 clean sheets from the 2 games he's played. Listen, Gabriel is still raw. Gabriel has a lot to learn. But you cannot fucking tell me that this is not the best centre-half at this football club. Maybe Tomiyasu if he moves over there. But I told you, look, some of you tried to throw some blasphemy and say it was Marie. Get out of here. Gabriel is certified, physical powerhouse, just needs to get the rawness out of his game. He's been very good in the 2 games he's played since coming back in this thing. Yes, but we didn't have him, so I don't know how much we missed him. I mean, call a spade, Arteta. We missed him, but you don't want to knock people's confidence. I hear that. We know that he's a player with an incredible future and he's given us a lot. He has adapted really well to the league. That's why we signed him. He's stepping in. His language is much better and he can coach and communicate much better with his teammates. He understands what we want, and I don't think it gets much harder than playing here in the Premier League. He was terrific today. On Thomas Partey, he's really important because he's the anchor, and that tells you he's the lone man in midfield then, innit? Apart from in front of the back four. And he's the one that reads what is happening and makes the rest better. That's his biggest job, to get the right balance in the team and get the right fluidity in the team so we can attack. How he managed the transitions was top. He has the pressing and the charisma. And then he struggled at the end. Obviously, he's still working his way back. He could not finish the game because he was cramping, but that will come up. He missed a long time, but now he's back and he needs some more fitness. So let's hope he can go the whole distance against Spurs. Tierney also had cramping. He had a problem and he was cramping. Sorry. The pitch was pretty difficult. It was long and it was pretty warm to be playing here. And some players suffered in the last 10 to 15. On Saka and whether he has struggled a bit. Yeah, he has, man. He said, well, he hasn't had a lot of preparation physically. I think there's still things to improve here, but he's trying hard. And that's still the Haaland baby. He's still the best player in this team. I have to gas it. I stand by Saka. Same way I stand by Tierney and Aubameyang, and Smith-Rowe, even though the form's shaky. I don't forget what you lot have given, and I still think you lot are all quality players, especially the younger ones. He's another one who struggled in the final minutes, but it's great that he's able to suffer and somehow come through that and manage those difficulties and adversities during the game, which is not really going for him. That is a part of football. He had parts where he was brilliant. That was true. And then he struggled and then he was brilliant again. That is better than being brilliant and then to struggle. So it's part of his development and I'm really happy with him. On speaking of wanting specialists in every position and if he feels the squad is ideal, we are much closer. But what we identified and recruited was players with really specific qualities and then to demand them to do what they do best. And that, Tomiyasu, you're a right back, move like a right back. Ben White, move like a centre back. Odegaard, playmaker after creating it. I thought today was a really good example with some of the players playing in those positions, and it gives you something different. On Smith-Rowe and Martin Odegaard playing deeper at times. Well, they have to come deeper depending on which phase of play we are in and in relation to what the opponent are doing. In the final third, they obviously have to play in pockets. They have to play higher, and their job is to attack certain spaces and goal for goal and have contributions for us to score goals. We had parts where they did really well, but the final pass or the final decision-making wasn't that great. If it was, the score probably would have been different. And that's true, and it goes for all of them. Again, Arteta has been honest there. We weren't good enough in the final third. It took a spectacular effort from Odegaard, really, to score a free kick. And how often do we do that? So this is something to improve on. On the fact we have struggled in these type of games before and whether results like this change the mindset, it helps to change it until we can go against Burnley 4 or 5 times and win in similar circumstances or better. I wouldn't say we've changed it yet, but he said, yes, hopefully it builds confidence and trust and belief that you can go through difficult moments in matches and still win at the end. That's the outcome we all want. Obviously, the performance has to be there, as individually we had some magnificent ones, and collectively in phases we had some of that as well. But we need more consistency in that. With how we manage the games is probably important. We are young, and you can still see in the last 10 to 15 that there are some decisions that we take that probably should have been a little different. But overall, I'm proud of the boys. Yeah, that's true. We was effing about in the last 10, 15. On Ramsdale putting an impressive display and whether his command of the box shows his character. Facts it does. Yes, exactly. That's his character and his leadership. That's how he presents himself as a person as well. That's what I like. He has presence and he dominates his area. And I mean, as you can always see Ramsdale running some joke about him and Tierney are farmer boys. Obviously, I guess that's down to where he's grown up and obviously Tierney's grown up. But, Ramsdale just seems like he wears his heart on his sleeve and all of those sort of things, man. What's this about? Have I missed anything here? I think this is the same thing. Yeah, this is the same thing. Let's go. Ben White has had something to say, people. Shout out Ben White. Still my centre back, regardless. Support to the end, man. We know it was going to be a tough game before we came here. Obviously, it's so hard, and the two big boys that they've got up top are difficult to handle. On the importance of back-to-back clean sheets, I think clean sheets are really important, said Ben White. Apologies. If you get that, you've got a good chance of winning. We've got the quality up front, so if we're keeping a clean sheet, we're always going to win the game. On his take on Odegaard's free kick, to be fair, I was in the wall, so I didn't see much of it, but it was obviously an amazing strike. On set piece practice paying off. There's quite a few of them taking free kicks every day, so it's nice to see one go in. On overturning the penalty decision, it was a tough one. My heart skipped a beat for a second. It was really, really dry out there today, and my pass back didn't get there at all. Luckily, Aaron came to save me. On keeping the momentum building, that's what we're going to do, and that's our aim. Fair play. You start as you mean to go on, and listen. I know a lot of you are being critical. Yeah, obviously, I'm not talking about constructive criticism about what we could have done better defensively and offensively. There's certain people that are carrying on like we was terrible. I mean, what do you expect? We're not going to turn into Barcelona overnight. And what I would say is, what do you expect? It's always better to win than lose. Would you prefer to go into the North London derby with 2 wins or 2 victories, or a win or not? These little things can make the difference. And Arsenal's a very volatile team. With every defeat, they think they're the worst team in the world. With every victory, they think they're the best team. And I think Arteta and these players need to find that middle ground. It's never football's, it's mad important, but it's never the end of the world when you lose. And when you win, there's always a lot more to do, people. So, as I said, for 24 hours, well, yesterday, let's enjoy it. We worked hard in the week. It paid off against Burnley. We shut up Monday/today, Sunday. We focus on Spurs and Wimbledon and trying to get 2 other wins from that. And I think after that is the international break. And the last time we went into the international break, we was off 2 L's. So hopefully we can go into it more positively. And then obviously October is a very difficult month to say that you've got Brighton away, you've got Palace, you've got all these, October to January really and beyond is difficult. We've got to go to Old Trafford, and I remember on January the 1st, 2022, subject to TV rights changing or whatever, we've got Manchester City, and we all remember what happened. The last time we just played Man City, and they'll probably beat us 3-0. Raheem Sterling probably get a couple. So yeah, man, there's a lot to consider. There's a lot we can do better, but it is where it is in that regards, man. So yeah, man, that's that in relation to the press conference, man. Closest we've got to Vieira most recently is Diaby. Big up DG. I had a good birthday yesterday. Created chances, moved mad with it, but we got a gritty win. Fact. Everyone doubting Tomiyasu at first when he signed, calling him the Japanese Callum Chambers. Simon, I don't know who said that. I don't think. Well, listen, in my reality, I never saw none of that in it. But if you saw that, I can't tell you anything. I don't think so. That referee's always going to be trouble in a nice way. I don't think I can pick a man of the match because the first half for me it was Odegaard. I think Partey won't be man of the match, but Odegaard, Partey did well. I would say they're all man of the match. And for me, Odegaard, Gabriel, Tomiyasu. I'm missing someone else out. Ramsdale, they're all arguably man of the match. They're all tied, man. In their own little way, I think they all did the business for us. And it's a nice way that we can have that, man. I mean, you call Aubameyang a mug, but you're here swearing on your mother's internet at 11:45 on a Sunday. He's probably in his nice car. How's he a mug? Come on now. Control yourself, man. Arsenal's last 7 games that Gabriel has started, 100% win, 0.29 goals conceded per game. Arsenal's last 7 games that he hasn't started in, 14% win rate, 2 goals conceded per game. And, there has been times Gabriel's been part of calamities and things like that, and he's not the Messiah, but at the same time, it's better than playing Kolasinac and Maria and all of these mix and match guys, man. Pardon me. I think we should just go with what's been running. We need to pick the new signings and go with them. It's supposed to be a long-term strategy, but unless they're all playing games, it's not happening. I follow Liverpool, but I always drop in to drop a like when I can. Big love from Australia. Keegan, I appreciate you, especially because you ain't got nothing to do with Arsenal, but you're supporting the team. Appreciative of that, my guy. One love. Can Ben White play right back? Why not change over with Tomiyasu? I mean, it could work, but I mean, just when we're finding a bit of stability, I don't think we should be mix and matching this thing. It's a bad patch that Saka's going through, and it's expected, it's the honeymoon. We always said it. He's gone through the honeymoon period. Everybody loves you now. There's expectation. You're struggling. You missed a penny for England. Adversity makes us different. If you don't go through any rain, you can't appreciate the sunlight. And Saka, Saka will get through it. He rises to every challenge. He's of Nigerian heritage, so it's in his blood. He's in his blood to overcome adversity. He'll get through it, man. Saka's still my guy. He just probably needs to come out the lineup. But saying that, I'll probably start you against Spurs. And if you play well against Spurs, suddenly the narrative changes. You're a hero and all of these sort of things. I don't know why YouTube's cop blocking and not giving notifications, but fair play. Love for getting in, man. Do you think Saliba can come back to Arsenal, DG? I'm not gonna lie. Therefore, when I see how Ben White's been playing, I think that I can't really see why Saliba's not a part of this thing. But I definitely think he can. I don't think he will personally. I want to be wrong. I want him to come and complicate things. Move on. You might keep a Marie or a Holding because one of them is more experienced. You can't really have too many of the young boys there. I know Holding is young, but yeah, man, I would love to see therefore with Saliba getting a chance, man. Sup, bro? How's your day been? Watching from Australia. Black Cube, appreciative of the super chat. Appreciative of you asking me how my day was. It's gone all right, bro. We won, innit? And I'm here with you lot. And like I said, this is the first of 3 live streams. Well, this is the first of, yeah, there's 2 more, so it's calm, man. So it is what it is. Odin's 27, yeah? This is why you don't laugh. This is why you don't laugh at people. Odin's 27, yeah? All right, I hear that. Don't laugh. Holding Chambers, Marie, them and their rotation. That's what they should be. Rotation options. Out of all of them, I'd rather give it to Holding. Bro, Raz, this is why you don't laugh, you know. What's the saying about he who laughs last or whatever? You know, man tried to laugh. Man just making up ages for Rob Holding. You dickhead. How are you gonna have that mad agenda? You're just gonna boost a man up by 2 years. Saka needs to be rested for some games and let him come on from the bench. Oh, come on, man. Come on, cat, man. Take your dick out your hand and use common sense for a second, man. Saka doesn't work on the left. He needs to start on the right. That's cap. Starts well. He works well on both sides. Just because he had a shaky game doesn't mean it doesn't work. Because when he was doing the bits with Tierney down that side, no one was chatting shit. Like, come on, man. I'm not saying you're wrong, but why the fans do this, man? They start rewriting history and saying this don't work and can't do that and whatever. Like, it's like we just live within those 90 minutes. Would you like to see Tomiyasu get forward more? For me, I want to see what he's about on the other end of it. I want to see him, but I think, you know what, if you just do your job like that, it's calm, innit? Would like to see him get forward a bit more. But he showed me in the Norwich game, if the opportunity is there, he will get forward. Maybe the Burnley one, it looked a bit shaky. Saka's wavy on the right. That's his best position, but man are acting like he's not good on the right, man. On the left, sorry. Fans just live from game to game, man. Same way a lot of these fans are calling Ramsdale the Messiah. Such is life. He makes one clanger. I'm not saying that you can't ask man to do better, but they're gonna call him overrated and things. But we all know fans live in a, you know, fans just, I don't even know. Fans just live in a bubble, man. Do you think Xhaka will walk back into the starting lineup against Spuds? I think he will, but I don't think he should. You know, I'd rather just go with what we've had already, but I think, you know, I think he will, man. So, bro, Saka's best performances have come from both. Saka's a right winger for me. I mean, you can check my videos. I don't know if you're talking about someone in the chat, but what we're not gonna do is act like he hasn't, just because he had one shaky game yesterday in which he actually earned the free kick, is say he hasn't affected the game on the left. Because when he was playing left back, when he was playing in front of Tierney, same way when he's badding it up on the right, he's been shelling it down. We've even seen Saka shell it down in the 10 row. Like, let's not cap on Saka. Let's remember he's still a big boy footballer in this thing. You know, for me, he plays right. And he just looks like he needs to mentally just come out the team for a second. Or just might not even be that. You're just not doing the business at this moment in time. Just come out the team, you know, go back again. Trust me, bad games, bad periods. But this is life. You know, ultimately, Saka's dying at this moment in time by the high standards that he set himself. Go again, man. I would love Martinelli to get game time, but yeah, man, probably not going to happen, really and truly. I would prefer Aubameyang on the left and Lacazette through the middle against Spurs. It is something. If it works, it works. But I can't lie. For me, I don't really want to, at least while we're trying to get points on the board, I'm not really with it again, you know. I hear it though, because Spurs' right backs look shaky. You know, Emerson Royals looked a bit shaky in his appearances. I hear it, but I just feel they both, when they're both in the team, it unbalances the team. Bro, because man, bro, you get me? When Saka's not making, man, what was that against Everton or something? Man, just Saka can play everywhere, man. It's all good. Right wing every day of the week for me, but let's just, he had a bad game. It weren't commands on the left, it weren't because this is happening. He just had a bad game. Loud man, bro. Good morning, DG. Realistically, what should Arteta do to improve us in the final third? I just think we've just got to learn to take our chances, just learn to do things with a bit more clarity, you know, just a bit, just raise the levels, really and truly. Lokonga start against Spurs. Someone said contention for me. 3 more back-to-back wins and we compete for top 4, shutting down all the haters. MF, I wish I was as positive as you. Let's just take every game as it comes. Euros that ate into the season, no preseason, and they were racially abused and they had a late holiday. You can't expect them to start quickly and they are young. Still life, man. Everybody says that, G1. You get it. I understand it. Many people here get it, but they don't want to give man that in real time, really and truly. It's sad. But yeah, on that note, though, people, I'm going to get out of here because we're working to a tight schedule today. If you want to see more, like I said, I'm on Twitch. We're doing a Man United versus West Ham versus Man United live watch along. Then after that one, I'll be back on YouTube where we'll be doing Spurs versus Tottenham. Man said Spurs versus Tottenham. That's how you know I don't really care about Spurs. Tottenham against Chelsea, people. One love to the 17 of you who have hit that like button. Keep hitting that like button up, people. It's been appreciative. Obviously, we've spoken about what we've needed to speak about. Just needs to move the ball quicker and take more risks up front. Facts. Do you think Eddie deserves a shot? He looked smart. He looked sharp in preseason. I mean, everyone deserves an opportunity in life, but I just think there's certain players that are in and around the team. They've showed you in it. Eddie shouldn't be at the team, so it shouldn't be in the team still. So by that logic, probably not. But, you know, if he gets his opportunity and takes it, why not? But on a serious note, love for everyone that's been here this morning. I'll be back again. You know me, I hang around like a bad smell. Hopefully we can get 2 wins from 2 next week. But for now, DG.
He always is that active red line, defending. I think it's like. Easy, 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 easy.